I got a Parasite choked the VSAT. That could have been a big comeback. We were down by like 30 seconds at that point, and me and Parasite got a few score streaks at the end there to close it out. We won by, I think we closed it out 250 to 190 or something. So it was a pretty cool game. We took S&D, I think 6-3. We played good. I played pretty good that game. I won like 31 and 20, and then 10 and 6 in Surge. So.
All right. Well, while we wait for this game to start between IcoNs and Essence, a quick shout out to our sponsors. That is at All Sports. We have Squid Grip, Avenger Pro. I believe they are a controller company. We also have Land GG Pro, Tourney Seeker, and Trinity Studios. So be sure to follow those people in Twitter. I'm not sure if any of them are actually watching, but they can go ahead and shout their Twitter out in the chat because I do not have the Twitters in front of me. I have a piece of paper telling me who to shout out and when. But we do have Doubt right now moving around, taking out, it looks like Drewby86. I think that maybe Bree Baby's boyfriend. I'm not 100% sure, but I do know Bree Baby and Immortal NT. Bree Baby known a lot for going on to Ladies Night. Someone's playing on Felony's account, but we also know who Immortal NT is. If you guys remember Modern Warfare 3, he actually teamed with Revan for a little bit, so not a bad player himself. So this should be a decent match, if not a very good match.
Yeah, it should be. Yeah, we got my boy Ego on IcoNs. We got Embos. We got Ricky. And we got Coke. This is Doubt himself coming back. Me and Doubt were actually really old school. We've been playing around since COD 4 in those days. So Doubt's been around for a long time. A lot of people know him that much. He never really like won much, but he's always been around. Really a big nuisance to play against. Always a strong player to play. And Ego's just the sprint master. The guy never stops sprinting. So and then they just picked up Ricky recently. I believe there was I forgot who's the player they had. I forgot the name of the player.
Lynx.
Lynx, right? Lynx, and they parted ways with him, and then they got Ricky for him. So I mean that team is a really strong team right now. I think they should have a good run for this tournament. And I don't know if you guys talked. Did you talk about the MD match yet?
Did we what?
Did you talk about the MD match yet?
We talked to. Well, all we saw was that we heard Adversity get up and start screaming. We saw the Envy had lost at that point, but we didn't hear anything else, like the results, what happened, who's upset, why.
So mainly what I heard is Envy was up 5-3 or 5-4 in Search, and they came back and won it on Cargo SD. That was a round 2 match, by the way. And I heard him. I don't know. I'm not sure how it went for CTF. I don't know if they got a last-minute cap or something, but I don't know. Envy seemed pretty disappointed, obviously. They were pretty strong online. I can't even lie. Like we scrimmed them a few times, and since Foreplay couldn't come to play with Censor. Censor's actually a really good player in this game. I'm really surprised by the amount of skill he brings. So he's been showing up. So I mean, I'm really surprised to see them lose to. I mean, Adversity also a big, strong team. But as we're hop aboard talking about the game here. Couldn't pick up that kill. And as we see right now, IcoNs actually only up by 20 seconds. This is actually a pretty close game so far. Like you said, this might be a good game.
Yeah, it looks like we do have that 67-39 lead in favor of IcoNs right now. And we do see Embos hopping on screen with him. He does have the MSMC with extended clip, grip, and laser. Moving around through blue. Gets taken out by Bree Baby, and he will go down. Ricky, though, with the kill onto Bree Baby in response, catching her with the headshot. Immortal NT into Zoa, which I believe is actually Ego, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And Felonies, I'm not even sure who's playing on Felonies' account. But we do see Drewby take out Zoa, that would be Ego, before going down himself. And it looks like IcoNs in the driver's seat so far as they're about to hit 100 points to the 39, so a very nice lead.
Yeah, and an interesting thing to say there, on the third hill, they had 3 ARs. They had 3 assault rifles, some things you never see. I think Embos pulled an AR out. We saw him die at blue, and then he pulled an AR out. And then we had Ricky sitting at Found with an AR, and then Doubt's been running an AR this entire game. So really interesting strategy by IcoNs. Maybe having some certain setups for certain hills and bringing some new meta games out of it. Because, I mean, 3 ARs is just not really good for breaking hills, but since they're holding them, why not?
Yeah, it looks like IcoNs trying to come out here and be some trendsetters, using some unorthodox methods, but at the same time, we have seen Ego before in the UMGs, known to take some risks, not necessarily a player that's threatened by the fact of trying something new if it does work for him. So Ego coming out here, and I actually want to pull up the scoreboard just for a moment to see how everybody's doing. We actually see Ego leading his team right now, 11-12, but the one that really surprises me is Doubt at 15-15, starting off extremely strong. And I remember Doubt, I believe, was at the Pro-Am, going off at the Pro-Am.
I was passing that, and he was actually using a PW, which is why I'm interested in seeing him with an AR. He's just doing work, so I tell you, Doubt's a really, really good established player right now. He's doing really well in Black Ops 2 so far, so I hope he really keeps putting that time into it and just keeps doing work. Because we saw him drop. I think he dropped the most kills I saw in S&D. He went 19-4 at the Pro-Am, which is something unheard of. 19 kills in S&D, that's just ridiculous. can't even do that in the pub pretty much. So, but we're seeing a pretty close game right now. Actually, like as you can see, the scores it's only a 40-second difference at this point. And I mean, Ricky and them don't seem to be having the easiest time, even though Dowd's doing work, skinning and slaying and stuff. I mean, if you look at the stats, except for Dowd, it's pretty even.
Yeah, it looks like the rest of IcoNs actually doing their job as well. We do see that IcoNs still has a very comfortable lead here, 136 to 77, just over 5 minutes remaining here. I believe this is the first map. We are still in round one for this one, and the way that we're doing it is a little bit different, so you're not going to see all the way up through winners semifinals here tonight or anything like you'd expect. Everybody's getting their stream time, and we do see Drewby going down to Ricky right there, moving around. Catching him was Embos, actually, not Ricky, excuse me for that. But we do see Embos playing very well right now. Catches someone trying to go through the hole in the wall. It was Bree Baby. She shuts him down. Moving back around here, we see Embos moving up toward blue, and he opts to sit back just for the moment and protect the hard point. A very nice play right there, and they do have that lead. But right as I say that, we see Drewby try to come in and make something happen. What do you think right now the Essence needs to do to get back into this game against IcoNs?
Well, they just need to take down Dowd. Dowd's pretty much the nuisance right now. He's 21 and 10, and he's the one holding the spawns for his team. So if your Slayer, if your anchor player goes really huge like that, you're gonna be winning a lot of hills. One thing I want to point out though is I think this is the third or fourth time I've seen Embo switch guns this map. And I'm trying to figure if he's actually doing it on purpose or he just can't decide which gun he wants to use. We saw him go from a PW to an MA to now an MSMC to a PW, and does he have two guns? I mean, I might be picking him up too. I mean, I'm not entirely sure, but Embo just seems to be switching it up left and right. I'm not sure if he's just on the side. I mean, you guys have to understand at home that this is LAN, so everything that's balanced online. Example, the Scorpion being a good close range gun and bad long range is even more apparent on LAN. You won't be able to get away with long-range gunfights with a Scorpion on LAN. It just won't happen. PW is going to take you out 90% of the time in like a medium-range fight. So people have to choose their gun really wisely in certain situations. So that's why I really love Black Ops 2 to the point where there's so many different strategies you can use, and everything you use matters to the utmost effective. Like if you're a hill player, play Scorpion. If you're a player that get cut off, use a PW and MSMC. If you're a guy that anchors, use an AR, obviously. So it really comes into play like crazy.
Yeah, right now, if you actually look at the score, we see Essence starting to close the gap a little bit more, breaking 100, and now they are simply going down by about 76 points, so they are trying to make their comeback, but IcoNs not willing to give it to him easily, and you know that Ego and his team are going to try to rally back and come back, but if Essence is able to take this hard point on Slums, I would be very surprised, and I would actually call that a little bit of an upset so far, especially seeing IcoNs come out and be so dominant in the beginning, especially with Dowd dropping the numbers that he was at the start.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, IcoNs definitely the favorite in this one. As we saw in the minimap there, a little bit of miscommunication and misplay by Essence. We saw them kind of push through middle instead of controlling the spawns. They were a bit too anxious on pushing that hill. They kind of just sort of slowed it down. At this point, they gave complete control of the hill away. So this time is crucial, especially for. I mean, there's like 40 seconds left to this hill at this point. I mean, IcoNs could technically probably win it on this one if they kept it the entire time or be very close to it. So it's a really hard hill to mount here for Essence. They got to start making plays, and
hard point
with the middle hill next up, it's going to be really difficult for him to actually come back.
Hard point contested.
Yeah, it looks like Immortal over there trying to hold that down. Not sure who's playing on the Felonies account, but they do go down to Doubt in the M8A 1 before Doubt is taken out in response by Immortal. But Embo's coming up big, avenging his teammate, and there he does go down to Bree Baby. But right as I say that, we see Ego getting taken out as well. Moving back around here, though, whoever's playing on this Felonies account trying to avoid the danger and move over and try to control the center statue area because they know the hard point's going to move there, and they're just simply trying to close the gap at this point. But with the time remaining, it is getting into clutch time at this point, and I'm not sure if we are going to see that comeback from Essence.
Immortal's got a 3-field. Let's hop on board with Immortal. Maybe he's close. He's racking up a score rate. This would be huge. Immortal gets his VSAT. Ooh, that would have been so big. Immortal needed like maybe 1 or 2 kills on that hill to get that VSAT. He still has all the score sheets, so if they're going to make a comeback, they got to. Actually, they lost control of that mid-hill at this point. I think it's pretty much. We got 80 seconds. They can still do it. They need some full control of this. They need this time and he hold the spawn. Immortal's doing work. Oh man, Immortal is doing so much work there. This is really important. This is Immortal's play right here. He actually already used his lightning strike to get him off the middle hill. They can actually still come back in this one. If we need to see Immortal sitting back though. Immortal's not making the right play here. He's the air player. They should be anchoring for spawns. If they can keep slaying here, they can actually make this comeback happen. They can actually, can they? 55 seconds? I think so.
They'd have 2 seconds to spare, but it looks like right there we do see the time not on their side anymore, as we saw about 3-4 seconds there where it was contested, and then we saw it go to IcoNs just for a second, and that will do it actually, as there's 38 seconds left. There are up by 42 at this point. So now we are going to see, or excuse me, I believe they actually just cracked going up by 50. But we did see Immortal come out really big for his team Essence. So I wonder what's going to happen as we move forward. Hardpoint, one of those game types that we see a lot of teams playing. So I wonder if maybe the SMDs or Essence is going to try to turn it around. And then we have the CTF afterwards if time permits. And I actually don't think we have seen the CTF yet in any of these best of threes. So I don't know what the map is for the CTF.
Round 1, I believe, was Express.
Express?
I believe so. I could be wrong, but that's what I was told.
Okay. Well,
we didn't play it, so
we'll see what happens there. But for any of you just tuning in, it is myself, UMG_Paradox, and Rambo Casting. You can follow him on Twitter at RNX_Rambo if you don't already, but I'm sure that most of you watching do. He is my co-caster currently, and I believe he is co-casting for quite a bit of time this tournament whenever he's not playing. Obviously, that is up to him.
I'll be here as much as I
can. But we'll see what happens. We do have a few other players trying to come in here and cast as well. I believe Big Timer said he was going to come in here. Scump voiced his interest, and then we also have Sharpie from Fear that we're trying to get in here later. So we have quite a few different casters, but be sure to follow Rambo on Twitter. Coming out here, playing his match, getting right back to casting, doing a great job.